When East Asia Soft announced its Tiny Pixel series, I was thinking it was going to be a bit further the acorn from the tree, because the first version or volume that's came out is a vertical shoot 'em up, and that's what East Asia Soft do an awful lot of when they port games to console. Ninpo Blast is the first in a collection of pixel art titles that are supposedly inspired or homaging various different arcade and console classics. And this is full of insectoid baddies, so choose your 90s shoot 'em up as appropriate. As you go through waves or swarms of enemies, the end boss is randomised from a selection of 6 that you can unlock over the course of time, and whilst you've got various different shots, your hoverboard that you drive on, and there's a couple to choose from but they all handle and play the same, have permanent upgrades that you'll reach a ceiling of, so the online leaderboard challenge does become actually relevant once you've unlocked everything. The goal of this game is to survive 20 waves of insect swarms, easy for me to say, and I certainly haven't done it, but it doesn't look like anyone else has on the online leaderboards, and that's because Ninpo Blast has something really cool about it that I don't think is talked about nearly enough. As you play more and you unlock more of your permanent upgrades, the game gets stronger and harder too. And so some bosses will start off with, say, 4 projectiles spinning around them. As you get more powerful, they become 6, which will then become 8. Other enemies will just fire more at you or come in bigger collections and swarms altogether. And so whilst you'll be able to get further in theory on the game levels up with you, so that the early levels never become a total cakewalk and therefore still become a challenge. And this is quite a good way to make sure that a game scales with you as you develop, because the 2 different fire powers that you've got is a really focused narrow shot, which is very powerful, or a wide sprawling shot which has got big range but quite weak. And whilst you can do permanent upgrades on both so that they kind of merge a bit more towards the middle ground between the two, there's still very distinct styles. I have to say, I found 90% of my gameplay was better playing with a focused shot, because that spread shot just was a bit too weak for its own good, especially as you get up through the different waves and you need to be able to hit things and kill them before they reach the bottom of the screen and kill you, basically. So that was where the focus shot really came into use for me. But you also have a katana special attack, which will slice through and kill any standard enemy on the screen at that time, or just do some big damage to a boss if you use it then. It does take a while to recharge, but again you can upgrade that too. And so as you become more powerful, so does the game, and the challenge stays with you as you go. What I would say though is that this game has a limited supply of enemies that drip feed relatively okay across the 20 waves, or the waves that I've got to so far. I'm in the top 10 on the leaderboard, but only just. And it was fun to play. The collision detection was good. Everything feels quite fluid. And what I quite liked about this is some of the ways how the swarms of insects come out are a bit cheeky, because it will focus you on certain areas of the screen and it will give you warning arrows for what's coming in. But there'll always be one little bugger that will pop out at the bottom of the screen, and it's normally a tiny little fly insect that will just spank you one, and then you just kind of go, I was looking in the wrong direction. So you need to have like eyes all around you to make sure that you survive really well in this game. And I have to say, from the moment to moment of gameplay, Ninpo Blast was good fun to play. This definitely packs a punch, and punches above its weight for the price point that it's been released at. And so from that perspective, I think this is a good starter for the Tiny Pixel series that East Asia Soft are going to deliver. I would like to see East Asia Soft branch out beyond some vertical shoot 'em ups and to tackle some other arcade classics over time. But if you're looking for a cheap and cheerful vertical shoot 'em up that scales relatively well with you as you get better, then Ninpo Blast is well worth adding to your wishlist. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.